All right, everybody, welcome in. This is going to be a semi-final match in the Aureil Stormgate Circuit weekly tournament number 1. And this one's going to be another IVI. And it is featuring, in the blue here, this is Wallace. And his opponent, in the red, this is Senegalo Ruskov, who I've been saying, hey, he's from Senegal, because that makes sense, because that's what his name says, and that's what his flag says on Wikipedia. But I found out today that he's actually in France. Now, does that mean he lives in France? I don't know. Maybe he does. I know he's a French person, I believe, but I thought he lived in Senegal. So there you go. There's a little lore on Senegalo Ruskov. And as I mentioned in my intro earlier, he's sort of newer to the tournament circuit in the last couple months, or maybe better stated is he's been doing a lot better in recent months and has been showing up not just in more tournaments but higher up in the finishing for that tournament. And we see again here in the semifinals of this first weekly tournament against Wallace. But Wallace also not as common on the circuit because he's not able to participate in as many tournaments, but is participating in this first weekly of the Aureil circuit. Maybe that means we're going to see more of him as well, and he's been playing very strong today, has been playing IVI matchup all day today, and has been showcasing how to play that matchup. And one of the characterizing things we've seen in his gameplay today has been a very early dragon. So we'll see if that happens here in this match. And the games that he has lost, he lost to more early vulnerability, I'd say. In the later game, he gets stronger. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in this matchup. The two of them have just basically finished their creeping phase, with Wallace a little behind Senegalo Ruskov, and partly because he's gone for this third base. And Senegalo Ruskov's already doing aggression. I said one of the weaknesses that Wallace has is to a little bit of early aggression here. And, well, I mean, it was the only match he lost. I think he only lost one match today. No, he lost one to MSRM 2, and that was a late game match, I think. So we'll see. We'll see how he does here with this hold, because Senegalo Ruskov's already picking at that vault. And one thing I liked about that was how he had set 2 of his brutes on the vault while using the rest of his army to micro against the army and do that little positioning dance. Because a lot of times when you're doing aggression like this, it turns into a little dance where my army is going to fight your army. Well, if a few of my units are killing your imps, or a few of my units are killing your farm, I still get damage done. This is a huge battle here. I think this was in favor of Senegalo. He had a little bit better concave to start it, and Wallace pulls back. And like I said, Wallace is losing some of his imps, and he might lose this shrine to this dance, as he's trying to get in good engages, but at the same time, half of Senegalo's army is attacking his base. And Senegalo's just got so many units streaming across the map here, I don't think Wallace is going to be able to hold against this. He's now in his natural, he's sort of in the best defensive position that he could be in. His farm's a little bit too far back to have the Fellhogs be doing very much. And while he will be able to get production out of these buildings, as we see here, he needs to turn those imps to fight. Even though my eardrums won't like that, they need to be fighting. And now they're fighting, but that's going to be GG. Welcome back in. We're now on Broken Crown. And once again, playing in the blue, this is Senegalo Ruskov. And his opponent in the red, this is Wallace. Oh, I was talking about this. This is the new build on this map that some folks claim is OP. Whoa! You don't put another one? Oh, that was a mistake. But yes, this is the new build. Now the idea of this build is the rush distance is really quick from these vaults in this conclave. And you can be in your opponent's base in about a minute 30. Sorry, minute 30, minute 40. Because here we are at minute 20. Ooh. Oh no. This is a mess up because that second effigy wasn't a permanent one. These units are slow. And when you're doing a real rush like this, you want those units on time. Gaunt showing. Oh, this timing, I love it. Because the Gaunt showed up just in time to get out and put Curse on, and then that meant that the Phantoms are showing up. But we got Phantoms over here as well. Both of them are kind of mirroring each other. Now, I don't know if I like those vaults right in the camp, but I guess it worked out great because 2 brutes just showed up. And this is good. This could be very bad for Wallace right here, as these flanking units come around from the other side. But wait a second, there's reinforcing brutes as well. We're fighting in the middle of the map. Wallace is losing a brute here or there. Senegalo's on the chase. What a curious start. Both of them with this kind of rush mentality. Look, neither has put down a shrine yet at 2:30, and we're talking infernals. And here he comes. Senegalo's like, I'm going for your conclave. Meanwhile, Wallace took out this camp here. Is he going to get the conclave? Wallace shows up. Does chase him back and saves him. Pumps out some more gaunts, but those gaunts are vulnerable. But good micro from Wallace to pull them back. That single brute is not going to do much over there on the right-hand side. But all the brutes and gaunts from Senegalo on the left actually had a better concave, and they are cutting through those units and that front line. More brutes popping out. We might get around another round of gaunts here right on the front line, but no. They have to pull back, and Senegalo is going to get this conclave. Is he going to turn and get it? It's so low. It's at 41 hit points. Yeah, Brute shows up. He's like, bam, I'm going to take it out. So the conclave goes down, but at what cost? These gaunts are now getting chased down. But actually good micro from Senegalo to keep them alive. And now, actually, he's getting a little bit of advantage, although there are 3 brutes here. And once again, they're chasing gaunts around, trying to do that dance. And good micro from the 2 of them, trying to get the most out of their units. And, ooh, the Fiend's getting on top of the gaunts now, cleaning up some low health gaunts. And, Senegalo does win out there. Wallace pulling back into his base. And did he build? Yeah, he put down another conclave, but remember he lost it, and that's going to be GG from Wallace. Alright, everybody, welcome into game number 3 of this best of 5 series that I did not realize was best of 5. So we got another one here. And once again, in our blue, this is going to be Wallace. And his opponent up to nothing here. This is Senegalo Ruskov. And already we see divergence. Senegalo going straight for the shrine first. And he's going to pop another. Oh! Oh, well. Oh, well. Maybe that was on purpose. I don't know. Sometimes they've, it's early in the meta for these new eco, especially for the infernal building stuff. So I know that folks have been trying out all kinds of stuff. Like before it was a farm that you would put here. And now they're like, nah, I'm just going to pop 2 effigies, and that's better. We do see that Wallace's, this is a permanent effigy, because we can see from the 100 hit points. That means it was popped as a second one on top of Shroud. And that's what I've been seeing more lately. And it's not clear that Senegalo did that on purpose or not. He may have chosen there to not put a second effigy to preserve his Animus, because he's got more Animus down here, which he might use for something else. Like I say, everyone's working with different ideas. And folks are just trying out, new stuff. And I love that about a fresh meta, a game in development like this. Even though the cost of that is balance is going to not be great all the time, it does mean you get really fun, interesting, cool, creative builds coming out of folks that try out new things. And speaking of fun, creative builds, ninja! We got a ninja. I did not know that Senegalo Ruskov was a ninja, but he is letting us know right now that he is trained in the arts of ninjutsu and will ninja his base over here if he needs to. Now, when you got a ninja base like this, I want to be careful. Like, say you got an army like Wallace is right here, and he sees an imp just marching its way down there. It's not a ninja base anymore. Okay, now it's just, I told you where my base is. Like, was he sending a scout down there? No, it's just eating a cabbage. So that's why I think it's important to have a good strategy about how you populate ninja bases. I know with, pocket bases and stuff, it doesn't matter as much where you're rallying from. But this base is so far away. What might be valuable, for instance, is instead of rallying them one at a time down there, just boxing like 10 or 12 and just rally them all at once down there, so that you have less risk of letting people know where your secret base is. You look at this. Wallace has sent his out here to this base to look, and he did it as his base is going up, which again is usually standard timing. And now he's gone to look for this base and doesn't see it. Ooh-wee! Where's he going? Look at this. Okay. Doobity-doo. Oh, he's going to all the ninja bases except for the one ninja base. That's the secret, if you are a real ninja, is you want to... Oh, wait. Ninja base spotted. Ninja base. Very well done by Wallace. He did send a fiend to every base. And that's just good game sense. He's like, I only see 2 bases. And you don't have an army that's in my face. So you have to have a ninja. And here it goes. The ninja's going down. We're watching as, all the imps go down. Now Senegalo Ruskov's going to be, he's running his army out, but it's too late. That's a dead ninja base. So, sadly, the ninja did not work out here. We've got Wallace with a little bit of a supply lead here, and now going to have good positioning. Now, is he going to have the game sense to jump on top of that? He is going to take these 3 units at the Vision Tower. And good move from Senegalo to split that brute. I mean, either way, you end up with 2 fiends, I think. And this is a fun little harass here. But, we got Spriggans out. And it's a whole air force of Spriggans. A whole air force. That's why Senegalo hasn't had the units on the ground units here. A couple of dueling nightfall infestations go down. The Spriggans come back to try and do help out here, and they're trying to do a little bit of damage to the brutes on the front line, but it's GG from Senegalo. Okay, here we are on Isle of Dread, and this is game number 4 between these two, and this is going to be Wallace, once again, playing the blue. His opponent in the red, Senegalo Ruskov. And both of them opening pretty mirrored again. Going for those 2 production buildings on the Shroud in their main base instead of out on the natural with any of the shenanigans. But we do get effigy, whereas Senegal is going for a farm. So we get farm, then we get shrine. Nope. What? We get a vault. Curious. This might be a rush. And on Isle of Dread, that's a little bit curious, a little interesting, because of the long rush distance. It just makes it a little bit harder to pull off. Here comes the imp. Okay, so I'm like, watch it be another vault. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. So maybe not all in, but maybe early aggression. We'll see. Eats a cabbage on the way by. That's a pro move right there. Taking out the health camp. We're also getting health camp taken out by Wallace here, who also did a quick job on the speed camp. Wallace has pretty normal early army, 2 rounds out of each, while putting down 3 more vaults at the natural there. And Senegal is on a 3rd hatch, and those are called shrines in this game. And what has he done with this extra vault? Because he did put down an early extra shrine too, whereas Wallace put down 3 vaults. Again, it would be great to have like a army tab, so I could be like, oh well, with the 1 extra round of vault tech, we've got an extra brute out or something like that. But we can figure that out when we see them go toe to toe. Right now we got 4 brutes here. 1 goes down. And over here, oh, I can't even see the units. There we go. Looks like a little bit extra army here for Senegalo, also showing up in the supply at the bottom. So far, it looks like his build has just been a little bit better. And he's got this 3rd shrine up. Does Wallace... Okay, now putting down the 3rd shrine. And I wouldn't say that's late. It's obviously behind Senegalo, but that doesn't feel late to me. Maybe just about late, or maybe on the border of late. Okay, now we're getting a little dance around here. It looked like Wallace was trying to catch Senegalo out. Does he take? Yeah, okay, he leaves a fiend there to take the Therium camp back. And Senegalo's on a full-on march across. He's already got a 4th shrine up, but oh, so does Wallace. So maybe it's not quite that bad. Like I said, maybe this isn't necessarily late. Maybe he's got it plotted out or planned out that maybe gets this base kind of saturated or close to saturated, and then plops 2 new shrines at the same time. And now Wallace, I don't know if you can win this, buddy, so he is pulling back. Yikes, he's going to lose Gaunt to that. Little Scout Fiend. This is the 4th base, is already mining. Only got 2 imps there, but it's already mining. Oop, 2 of 12 here. So it will take a while for those bases to kind of get up to saturation. Wait, never mind. We're on a 5th base over here too. I think Senegalo's aiming for that late game. We are on Isle of Dread, which is definitely one of the bigger maps. Also, the big part in the middle here, this sort of like rocky bit here, makes the rush distance even longer because you have to go around that instead of running straight through it. So that does make this map is more prone to this, and I think Senegal is just saying, fine, you haven't been aggressive yet, so I will put down every base. He could put a base here if he wants. He's got every camp on his side. He's got control of both Luminite camps. And he's just going to say, I'm going to macro here until you come at me. And when you do, I'm going to hope my defender's advantage is going to win it for me. But wait a sec, we got a little drop coming out. And that's the kind of thing that could help in this situation. It's a single brute. Oh, sorry, a single gaunt and a bunch of brutes. Is it going to be spotted? It went right by the, like, skirted by. Alright, gonna drop here. Got an imp. Maybe two. We're gonna drop down here in the natural. The imps have already pulled, and shadow flyers take out everything. Look at as a bunch of fiends fall out of the... Yikes. What happened there was there were all these brutes in there, so even if the Harbinger gets taken out by the shadow flyers, all the dead brutes turn into fiends. So we got a bunch of fiends basically raining out of the sky from the dead Harbinger. And Senegalo with a little strike crew up here, but that ran right into the full army of Wallace and gets pushed back. And Wallace does have the supply lead right now. Senegalo's been spending all his money on bases. And now we're going to get a little fight in the middle. But look, Senegalo with his dragon up, despite all this. And that dragon definitely added to the supply and basically got him even again, at least for a moment. And like, give Senegalo another minute or two, and he's going to have the supply lead, and he's going to be the one we're going to have to be looking at. Oh, look at all that shroud. I think it comes from all the extra buildings. That's Beowulf's theory, and I believe him on that. It looks cool. I agree with him on that. It looks cool. Senegalo coming out to retake this for the second time. And Wallace is chilled back home. Again, their supply is very close. Wallace, are you going to get your dragon out here? As I say that, who knew that the dragon summoning noise was so loud like that? Well, now I know. And there are dragons on both sides. As they say. I like the new coloring on the dragon. I think I could use just a little bit more texture or something. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But I do like that the team colors are easier to see and make the dragon look kind of cooler. Now the question is, which dragon looks cooler? The red dragon or the blue dragon? Okay, here we get it. A little bit of battle. But actually, no, Senegalo pulls back and says, let me... Oh, it's because he's got a flanking army. This is bad news for Wallace here, as his whole army is surrounded by brutes. Oh my goodness. Watch it just get torn to pieces. That's just disgusting. Oh my goodness, there's nothing we can do here. There is no running from this. You're fully surrounded and wiped off the map. Ouch. That's hard to watch, but amazingly well done from Senegalo. And now Senegalo's taking his army lead, his supply lead, and while at the same time pushing in, he's broken off some fiends to kill this base here. And trying for another flank. Not quite getting the same flanking that he did before with the full surround. Oh, but Magmadon's pushing through and cutting through the army. The whole army getting pushed back, and again, just a massive supply lead here for Senegalo. As he's pushing in, he's once again destroying bases over here on the right-hand side. I do like his choice here to bring his army back and say, I'm just going to kill base. And also, look, baiting in Wallace, saying, fine, you want to go save that base, you have to get between your two armies. And then once again, crushing that army. Amazingly well played by Senegalo, and a GG from Wallace.